Hi guys, this is part 1 of how I make a journal. Now, for months now, I've been wanting to make a Nightmare Before Halloween junk journal. This is how I make my junk journals. I'm going to show you how I make mine. There's no rhyme or reason. Everyone makes them all different. So if, for instance, it's like someone opening the fridge to get the milk out. We all do it different, don't we? Some do it from the side, some do it from, I don't know. We all make coffee different. We all do things different. So if you don't like this, click off. I don't care. Anyway, I've been requested, shall I say, by some friends if I can show them how to do it. I've been making junk journals for a long time now, probably two and a half years, and I do them all different ways. I do them with signatures in and I do with signatures out. I want to make one with a signature out because they're hard to thread through the needles. It's more work. The easiest way is with bands. The best way, I think, is with the bands as well, because you can change your pages out. And if you've done something wrong in your page, you can always take them out, you know. So I'm going to start by showing you some of the basic things that you'll need, and then show you how to prepare to do a junk journal. So this is part 1. Right, so I've been down to the charity shop. Now I'm in between projects at the moment, so I probably won't be able to film this every day. I mean, the last one it's taken me months, literally, because I've just stopped it because I've got bored with doing it. Not all of them are like that. You've got to start a theme of one that you're very interested in, or you get bored with it. I started a Hollywood one, a vintage Hollywood, many months, even before I started YouTube, and that was probably around February. We're in October now. I haven't even gone back to it. It took me a long time to prepare it. It's just building it up with whatever I can put in it is the main thing. So you're going to need dies, you're going to need stamps, anything you like. So today I'm going to get on with this because we're at 3 minutes in. I don't know how much battery life I've got. Right, so I've been to the charity shop. I've picked up an old book. You have to get a hardback book. And you have to get something with a spine like this. I'll show you. Let me take this off. You don't need it. That's rubbish. But I think I got 5 books for, I think, £1 or something. So can you see from there? Look, see that gap? That's what you want in your books, like that. You want that gap, okay? So you've got this solid outer shell. So what you have to do is take a sharp knife and be very careful. I've just got one of these basic ones out. These, you can get these in a set from Poundland. And you want to score it down the side. You probably won't be able to see, but I'm risking my fingers here. So just score it down that line a couple of times. Oh, try not, doesn't matter if you go over, make a mess or anything, and then it starts to come away. It does take there it is, there we go. Right, so take that off. This one's got a tape on the back. Not all of them have got this tape down here, this white tape. Right, so that's that bit done. Then you want to score on the back one with the knife as well, and not cut your wrist or your hand. Just score little at a time. And then that page has come out now. Just a little. Don't do it hard. Just, and it should come out. There we go. Now, you don't need any of this bit unless you want to do pages in your... You could keep these two do your jelly plate things over, you know, different colour pages or that. Or your tags and that, just random things and that. So all that basically is waste. Right, all I wanted is a nice, thick, sturdy cover. So what we have to do with this is, have I got any anywhere? I've got some new one up there. I forgot to bring out some tape. Hold on a sec. Right, am I back? Yes. Right, so the second part is, because it's like this now, some of them don't tear down here. Right, it's only bald. But what you want to do is make sure that it's nice and flat. But this, you see, now you've got the outer shell of it, okay? So this bit is quite vulnerable here because it's all loose and it's all torn. So what you're going to have to do is glue these bits down as far down as you can. I always get some glue in there. Hang on a minute, I need to get this glue top on before that glue sets off. It's not even on, is it? Okay. Should have got my bone folder really, but I'm going to need that in the next part of it. Okay, right, so what you want now is some duct tape. The last one I bought is this one, and I got this from Aldi. First time I've been in Aldi, and I see this, and I thought, okay, like that, it's gold and chevron. It doesn't matter really what colour it is. I've got this nice one from the range with stars in it. Doesn't matter because you're not really going to see it anyway. But I'm hoping this ain't going to stick under here because it is a nuisance to pull this stuff off. Well, I have hard work pulling this stuff off, so you want to roughly about that. Let me just cut this piece of tape off because I don't want this all over my tablecloth and stuck down. I'm still cutting it. Hang on a second. So it is like a rough, rigged tape. But it's hard to cut with small scissors this size. Hang on a second, I've got a bigger pair here, and maybe we can cut it off in one go. Doesn't matter because, you see, this is only just the basics at the moment. So we want that right into that bit. Doesn't matter about the overlap. If you can get yourself a bone folder out, and just rub that down and bend it and then rub it. Make sure it goes up again. I wasn't prepared with anything, I'm just starting. I'm going to put that over there because I like to make sure that them ends don't get, you know. So we could have done with a bone folder here, as I said. I'm pushing it in with my nails at the moment into the grooves. Make sure it folds over like that. Make sure it's able to shut so it's all down. Okay, this stuff's brilliant. This what's it called? Duct tape. You can get the carpet tape as well, but not the double-sided, of course, but the normal stuff. Right, and then you just make sure, because this protects your corners as well on your spine. I like to make sure it's all rubbed in nice and all flat down, especially since that was up. Right, so we've got a nice sturdy spine. You can actually run another bit across there if you find it too thin. This isn't a vintage book, this is a newer book, but with some of the vintage books, they are nice and thick here, but here they're, what do you call it, disintegrating. So you will find you have to use more tape, like on the outside and all that. It also protects it from any, you know, keeps it dry, but that is nice and sturdy now. So that's our basic part done. Okay, so the next part, we will have to move on to the next part now. And depending on how many videos, I will run a bone folder through this to make sure it's all flattened down. You want to get your air bubbles out. You want to make sure this actually goes in. It doesn't matter if it goes over, but your tape needs to be in that, in them two grooves, so it's nice, it sturdies it up. Right, so I'll move on to part 2. I'll go and get my bone folder, my measuring tape and everything else that I need. Don't worry about these tape 2-bit sides at the moment, or the front cover. We will be doing that shortly. What I will show you while I'm here is I have got, and I've been saving a box for a very long time of, let me take that out of the way for a minute. This little box here, I painted the lid on it. It's only a Poundland box, but in here I've got assorted Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. Some of it I've been gifted, some of it I've bought, and you know, I've been saving the bits up. Also, I have, I don't know where I've put it. Oh, it's all in here, is it? An A4 box. I've been gifted some of the paper by Laura, which is my stationery and stuff. She sent me in some lovely sheets. Let me put that round that way. Of Nightmare Before Christmas. Then I bought a pack online and I done my own. I printed some of my own ones out. They're not exactly terrific, my ones, but they do. But Laura's is better. And I bought this set of stamps in the year, which is Nightmare Before Christmas. And then I've got all my cutting dies in Nightmare Before Christmas, all different designs. So this is okay. So we've managed to do at the moment, break the book down and do the spine. All this is now rubbish, so this can all go to one side. You can reuse it, as I said. You can cut tags out and bits of paper bits and all that. You can even do little folded pockets to put inside. There's a bit in there that says Jack. I know Jack said and all that, so maybe it'd be worth, let me just tear that page out. So you never know, you know, you can save a few bits for inside of your junk journal. Okay, so that's the first bit done. Okay, so I'll be back shortly. Right, I am back. Right, I've sorted out this bit for the front and the back cover, the inside and one of the inside, because I couldn't find another sheet of this one. So what we're going to do is I'm going to glue this book all over the front. Let's just make sure that fits on. This is a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So I found my bone folder. So you don't have to glue it. You can do it with, let's just get it all in. I haven't used this glue on here before. I usually use my other one, which is the Anita's, is it the Turbo Tacky, Eileen's Turbo Tacky. I don't know if this is going to dry fast. It's going on nice. Use whatever glues you got that's nice and sticky. Let's get a lot on there anyway. I don't want it to dry, but I want it all over it. I want to make sure it's right up and right in them corners as well. Right, hang on. I like a nice lot of glue. Should have put my mat down to do this, but I haven't got time. Right, so what you want to do with that is get your piece of paper. Doesn't matter which, it doesn't matter which sides, and then stick that down on there like that. Now you want to turn this way, and you want to just go into that groove. Don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Go into that groove and just lift your paper so it sets in there while you're doing this. So it gives you that bit of movement, but it's also starts to stick down. That's what you want. Right, so it is drying. It's coming off in a second. Oh dear. Right, okay. We'll do this again in a minute anyway. I always do it a couple of times. Now you want to cut into your corners. If I put this one on wonky, I think I have. I'm just going to cut from there to there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. I'm just going to go in like this because my paper's short. I usually do this with wallpaper. I'll go in and get a sample or something. I'm just cutting basically from the corner inwards. Doesn't matter, it's going to be short anyway. See, this is not lined up enough as like the other side. So right, I'm just folding my paper for the moment. This is quite thick, this paper. Don't worry about all this corner edging. You're going to cover it all up. Usually I have bigger pieces of paper. I've got a whole sack full in my loft. A big bag of lovely glossy and glittery black shiny paper and that would have done excellent for this job. But there's no way I can get in that loft. Not today. Right, let's just get them up. Right, let's make sure this is alright. It's still going over. Okay, that's important so it doesn't get that rigid. Now, give me a second. Actually, probably not even, I don't know if I'm going to fold them in. I probably will, because I've cut it short. No, probably will, and put corners on. I've done it all, because I'm filming it, I'm doing it all crooked now. I usually make sure my corners are nicely done. I don't care at the moment. I just want to get this front cover done I'm very impatient crafter, and I usually sort it all out anyway. I'm not one of these to sit there with and do this and make sure that's politically correct, and as long as it gets done. That will need cutting down a bit after. How about this side? I'm just making sure. I'm going to put edges on anyway. Yeah, I need just a little bit off the corners. I'm going to cut it like that because it doesn't matter, because no one's seeing it. So we're just trimming a slight piece off of these. And then we're going to go in for this one first. And there's a postman. I'll use this glue again. If it'll work. Yeah, it is. The only thing I don't like about these glues is they dry too quickly. If I mess up, I'll just start again. Usually I have thinner paper than this, and I'm doing it super fast anyway. So you want to tuck that over, get that right over there like that. Get your bone folder in, get it in that groove. I don't know if you're near enough to see this. I'm going to tuck that up. It's alright, it's only the postman. Tuck that up again. It's alright. Might have to stop in a sec. If I have to stop, then I'll do another piece of this. Because she's going to go potty now because the postman's there. Right, so that's in. We'll get this bit done and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've finished the inside. Now, don't worry about these corners. This is for my personal use anyway. But if you was making one, what I suggest you do, because this is a big one, of course you can get books in many sizes and everything, but because I was only using a 12 by 12 paper, and as I said, I usually only use wallpaper samples. And what I mean by samples is I'll tear off a great big sheet. And I've done some lovely journals like that. It's better to have the paper for the outside a lot bigger. Wallpaper also is very thick. You can get lovely textures. You can get, I made a lovely junk journal, Halloween style, a few years ago. And that was made with some iridescent black wallpaper, and it come out lovely. Now when you're putting your paper on, like me, I've just stuck the edges round as I just casual, because you're covering these pieces up anyway. Also, if you make a mistake, that's your best friend, your duct tape, because you can go round them. You can also put this on this side of the spine as well. But I don't usually tend to. I usually do lace or that. Now, if you was to do this with wallpaper, you'd need something right round, and then square it off, cut it to its square, and then put your, let me get something that I can point with. Each of your corners you cut to a slight angle so they fold inwards. If you're doing it the professional way, which I wasn't today, which I usually do the professional way every other time apart from when I'm filming like this today. Anyway, you get what I'm saying, don't you? So you cut your edge, say this is my paper behind, okay? So you cut it from this edge here. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't. So you cut from this edge to that edge, to that corner to that corner. So it's a bit like an envelope shape, you know. Go right the way round. If there's too much paper, more than this overlapping, cut it off of each sides. This glue seems to be doing well. This is the Cosmic Shimmer. I usually use, well, when I'm using wallpaper, I will use this, to be honest, because I've got tons of these. And this is fine for sticking down the outer part. Now, as we've done this, it's still drying, so it's best to leave it like that on a table somewhere to dry out, because then you've got that bend. You need that to bend, okay, because that's the inside. Now on these corners, because I hack these corners to pieces, I will put some of those corner pieces on after, because my paper wasn't big and I wasn't going in the loft to get the wallpaper out. I just wanted to show you guys how I start a journal. So the next part we do is doing the inside pages on just these two, not the spine. We don't touch the spine. We just do these two individual pages. Now I didn't have a lot of this paper left, only half a sheet, so then I found this one. Oh, I like this side better. So I'm going to cut two pieces of that, and then I can stick them down. Okay, so I need to measure out, it's got to be measured from here, which is the lip of this spine, from here to across to around here. Okay, so it will cover the whole page, both sides. So I'll do that and I'll be back. I'm back. I've just cut my paper, so let's see if they fit. It should fit. 8 by 5. Depends on what your book is. And another good way is, you know, the main part of your book, or the back part of your book. Yeah, this bit, clip that bit off. This bit here, you can measure by that as well, and then you'll get a perfect measurement. But I went and measured it, so I'm gonna stick this on. I don't know if I like this. I prefer this one, I think. Right, I think I'm gonna use this. Shall I use this glue? No, it'll get too wet. Would have given a bit of coverage though. Right, okay, let's hope this is still working and I don't need a pokey tool. It's still working. Make sure you get your glue right to the end. I should be using a board under this. Is this still filming? Yeah. I'm trying to do this for, well, as quickly as possible. Nothing ever plans out right when you're trying to do things on, when you're filming, does it? Right, okay, that's a nice lot of glue, and especially in the corners. Right, so up to that line bit, make sure it's on. It's not on properly. Okay, we have to just, before we, I don't know how long this glue takes to dry. That's why I use the other glue, the other kiddies glue, because it takes ages to dry and you can reposition things better. Right, okay, is that on? Yep. Let's just go across very lightly. Make sure there's no bubbles. Could do with a bit more glue under there. Just going to peel that back, and it's going to squirt out everywhere, that glue. There we go. But I'll seal it. Stick a bit more under. There it comes. Right, we want that on. Make sure this top piece is on. I'll just run that across down there, because you see the paper's thicker up there, so it's going to have a bit more of a problem laying down. This glue has turned out okay usually. I usually use this glue, and maybe for the wallpaper, some of that. I like using this for the wallpaper, although it takes ages to dry that clear kiddies glue. Right, let's make sure that doesn't interfere with that. I'm just going to tap down the side. Right, that's one side done. And this was my other side. I don't know what pattern. It doesn't matter, does it? It's the same way every way. Right, okay. Let's get this in. I hate these glue tabs in your way when you're trying to glue things. That's why I don't usually buy this glue. I like this glue. I think it's a great glue, but I hate these things that are hanging down, you know. And with that Eileen's glue, that tacky glue, I know it's expensive, but it really does a job with like MDF pieces, and you can keep it upside down so it's always ready, you know. With this, it keeps, I've noticed, you've got to keep stabbing a pokey tool in the end of it, and then after a while, look, all the glue bit, and I'm going to have to clear that out again because the top won't go on otherwise. Right, let's get this on. I can't see what I'm doing now. Right, where's the line? To around there, because we don't want it on the spine as such, you know. Where is it? I have to hold it up to me a minute. Give me a second. Right, I'll see where it is now. 'Cause this glue is dries a bit quick. Let's make sure. Need a bit more on there. Just run that down. Okay. Right, I need a bit more glue in there. Just a bit going up this pace. You can't over glue it, do you know what I mean? It just needs, I'm going to leave that glue open a minute because I'm not going to have time otherwise to glue this down. And then it's set, because I've got glue everywhere at the moment. I want it to seam a bit. I don't want this paper to tear though. I mean, I say, if you mess up at all, like say this rips or something rips, then get your duct tape out and cover it over, you know. Right, so that is the beginning of our junk journal. So we've got the outer made, which is a basic black and white, which I wanted. Okay. And then the insides, yeah, it's bright to you. Now make sure when you're drying this, you leave it up like that, just so it can bow round a bit. Just leave it like that to dry, so that bit can bow. Okay, because then that'll give it. It will then form that shape. That's what you want. You don't want it laying flat. If you've got it flat, let it dry and then try everything to fall apart. You need this fold in there like a traditional book. So this is what you got at the moment. See, this is what I was saying about this bit in the middle. You don't really see it. I like them stars though, so if you do go to see it, this one you probably will see because I'm not going to put the sewn signatures in it. I'm going to have it as like a journal and other bits that I can interchange the pages, which is the easiest form of making one of these. So anyway, this has got to dry for a couple of hours. Don't put it on the radiator. Just let it dry out naturally at dry. And maybe tomorrow I'll be back to do the next course. I've got to try and upload these into my memory, what do you call it? I've got a new, oh God, what do you call them? One of those stick things you put in the phone that holds the videos. So I'm going to try and edit them all in together into sections, into parts. So I'll get to this part and then I'll do part 2 of this journal making, so it's not all like 21 parts or whatever. So I'm glad that you've been with me to do this, because I like Nightmare Before Christmas, but as I say, do any theme you like. Okay, so think of a theme you'd like to do. I'm going to leave that to dry on there, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.